Please raise your hands if you've ever heard or have ever been told that networking is important.
Yep.
Now raise your hands if you find networking to be something that is challenging and or intimidating. All right. So hi everyone, my name is Daniel. I'm a student here at York University, and today I'm going to be talking to you about how I think coffee chats are a great networking tool. So my story starts with my networking journey. My networking journey began when I started in university. Since day one, since orientation even, it was drilled into me that networking was the key to success. If I wanted to get a job, or if I wanted to get a summer internship, I was told that I had to network. This is because it's not about what I knew, but it was about who I knew. How many times have you been told that? So, a couple summers ago, I started my networking journey, and I started going on coffee chats. The way this started was I had actually managed to get a job in downtown Toronto, the business epicenter of Canada. But there was a difference here. I didn't have to network to get that job, I just got lucky. But rather than remain complacent, what I realized was that this was an awesome opportunity for me to start building a network. And so I did just that. This way, I wouldn't have to rely on luck next time. So I started to go on coffee chats. I found these coffee chats through LinkedIn, through 10,000 Coffees, which is a site that I'll talk a little bit more about later. And I even reached out to people that were working at my company. But eventually, what I realized was that I was doing it all wrong. I wasn't going on these coffee chats because I actually wanted to network. I was going on these coffee chats because I was told that I had to if I wanted a job. Clearly, not the right attitude to have. What I eventually realized was that the best coffee chat experiences that I had were the ones where I had a genuine interest in what the other person had to say. In other words, instead of networking for the sake of networking, what I realized was that I needed to network in order, or that to be successful at networking, I had to take a genuine interest and actually hear out what the other person had to say. So while at first I may have asked questions like, what is it like to work at your company? Because I was told to and I was taught that way. What I later realized is that when I asked questions that I actually wanted to hear the answer to, I walked away with valuable knowledge that I would not get by sitting in a classroom or even reading a textbook. And in my opinion, that is the real power of a coffee chat. Coffee chats are invaluable tools. You get to meet new people, build meaningful connections, and walk away with new knowledge. So while the formula may no longer be go on a coffee chat and get a job, what I realized is that by going on coffee chats, I just provided myself with new opportunities. So again, it's not going to directly lead to that job, but at some point in the future, that job may come from a connection that I had built, or maybe new knowledge that I had found. But the key here is that that has to happen naturally. I can't just force it. So I have 4 takeaways for us today, and the first is to go on coffee chats. Pretty obvious. But when I say go on coffee chats, I don't just mean go on these coffee chats. I mean go and actually go with an interest in learning about what the person has to say. For me, the most challenging part of going on coffee chats in the first place was actually bringing myself and building up the confidence to actually ask someone for a coffee chat. At first, I was worried. I was lazy, I was apathetic. I used to think to myself, what if I ask this person for a coffee chat and they don't want to go with me? But when I thought more about it, what I realized is that in the worst case scenario, they'll say no and life will move on. But in the best case scenario, I just made a meaningful connection that could be long lasting and again, lead to those opportunities in the future and teach me a bunch of new things. Clearly, I'll take that trade-off anytime. The second takeaway is to be genuine. Don't make my mistake. Go in with the intention of actually taking away valuable knowledge, not just going in to get a job. And the third takeaway is maintain the relationship. I think it goes without saying that when you go on coffee chats, you should always follow up and thank the person, but that's not enough. You should also keep in touch with them. So keep them updated on where you're going in life, ask them how they've been every now and then. In other words, don't be the person that only reaches out to them when you need something from them. And finally, pay it forward. One of the best lessons I took away from my personal coffee chat experience was this right here, to pay it forward. I'm someone that has personally benefited from others taking the time to help me. Whether it was a resume review, a coffee chat, maybe even I met them at a networking event and they just came aside and talked with me. Regardless, again, I've benefited from them taking the time out to help me, and I know that when I graduate, I want to do the same for others. So you might be thinking, how do I get started? Where do I find these coffee chats, or where do I find these people? Well, the first source of coffee chats, potentially, would be your personal network. So ask your friends, ask your family, you can even ask your professors. Secondly, a site called 10,000 Coffees is a really great way to find people that are interested in coffee chats. This is a site where you can go on and find other people that are looking for coffee chats with others. And the best part about this site is that if they're on this already, chances are they're more willing to say yes to you because that's the whole purpose of this site. Another great source for us York students here is a program called TASTE, Take a Student to Eat. The TASTE program pairs 1 or 2 York students with a York alum. You get to network with them over lunch and you don't even have to pay a thing. You don't even have to pay for the lunch. And sometimes they'll even give you an office tour. And finally, the last tool is LinkedIn. Obviously, LinkedIn is one of the most powerful networking tools, but what I want to bring to your attention is a tool that I don't think a lot of people seem to know about. LinkedIn has a tool called the LinkedIn Alumni Tool, where you can look at graduates of the school that you went to, and you can filter them by certain criteria. So for example, let's say I am an economics student, and I want to work at IBM. I can input those filters, as you see over there, and what you'll get to see at the end of this is people with that exact background. And I now have a bunch more people that I can go and reach out to for a coffee chat. So in other words, or to conclude, thank you for listening, and I hope that you found this helpful, and I hope that you're going to go out and go on as many coffee chats as you possibly can. Thank you.